Sitting down with the Cali Condors here, GM Jason Lezak, Kelsi Dahlia, Justin Ress. Jason, let's just start with you. Obviously, that was a tough loss. One of the most exciting matches we've seen, I think, in ISL history. Give me your initial thoughts on this performance by the Condors.
Yeah, I mean, we came into today down by 19 points. So we had an uphill battle. We knew that. And there was a lot of emotions back and forth. We had some, really positive ones, and then energy bounced back. So I think our guys fought really hard. I was really happy. I mean, it came down to the last couple of races in the skins. Anybody could have won. And unfortunately for us, it was energy, but we still had a chance, and that's all we could ask for. The team really stepped up, and really proud of how they handled themselves, especially after yesterday. Everyone was a little disappointed at the end of the session. We could have come in here and had the wrong emotion and swam poorly, but that's not what happened. They stepped it up, and we put up a good fight.
Yeah, I mean, obviously a relay DQ is never ideal. How did you, what did you say to your team to try to get the morale in the right place today, and how did you see your team react to that?
Well, I think, Coach Jeff Julian has done a great job with the team all season long, and it wasn't just about this race. I mean, he's explained it from the very beginning. You have something, doesn't go your way, and you got to move on. And Caleb actually explained it in one of the early meetings we had. And, you put it behind you, and we call it you being a goldfish, and gone to the next race. And that's what they've done all season long, and it's really impressive. And like I said, we would have loved to come in and won today, but they put up an amazing fight and made it great for the fans and the viewers. I hope everybody really enjoyed it.
Kelsi, you got things started off in a pretty hot way, right, with that world record event one, day one, for the Condors. Can you talk about your performances over the last 2 days and how you felt about them?
Mm-hmm. This is all about the team, and our team has really come together. We had a lot of new faces this year, but I feel like we've been really intentional to get to know everyone. And so because of that, I feel like I've been able to swim with less pressure and just really enjoy this season. For me, it's been about finding enjoyment in racing again. And I really was able to do that. And so I feed off everyone. Like today, seeing Nick beat Ilya back. I'm like, okay, I can beat Sarah in this 52. She's tired. I'm going to take advantage of that, and have never beat her in the 50 fly before. So, but in the 100, everything just came together. I mean, I never felt perfect. My elbow still hurts. Like I have all these aches and pains, but just to put it together, I'm still like, if I really think about it, I'll get emotional. So I'm not going to let all that happen, but I'm just really proud of myself and our team.
Yeah. And Justin, same for you. The commentators were talking about the fact that you're kind of this unsung hero, playing second fiddle to Caleb a lot of the times, but, coming up really big in relays and sprint events. How did you feel about your swims over these last couple of days?
I surprised myself a little bit. It's actually crazy what having the experience as a pro mixed with being able to swim for a team can do. When I put those two together, I mean, some magic happened. Last week I was 45.7 in the 100 free, and I had absolutely no idea that was coming. So just being able to swim for the team, and I've always loved doing that on relays. So that really showed on the relays this weekend, and I'm happy it did. So I'm really happy with that swim.
You mentioned that experience as a pro, and this is the third season for a lot of you all of ISL. Obviously the first one was in a much more normal time, and then we had the Budapest bubble for season 2, and this season it's kind of been a hybrid, right, where we have a lot of players coming in and out. There's been a lot of injuries in the league. So just for all of you, Justin, we can start with you, but how do you feel like you've moved through this season, and how do you feel like it's been different from those other two?
With the Olympic year, I can guarantee you this is the hardest time mentally for maybe any athletes ever, of any sport ever. Everyone I've talked to has had struggles. Those physical injuries come because of, mental injuries. The body has a tough time getting over all the stress and anxiety we've been through the past few months, and without a team like the Doors, behind me, I would not I would not have made it. I actually texted Jason a couple weeks before. I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to come here. Like, I was that stressed and anxious. So it made my swims the past few weeks all the more surprising. So, it was great being here.
Not only did Justin wasn't sure, he comes in here, he swims fast on his first match, and he was a little surprised. And then he injured himself, and he hurt his wrist, and he, didn't swim for a few days, wasn't sure, and we wound up making him relay only at one of the matches, and then he bounced back and goes the best time. So, I mean, it's incredible. I think as we talk about it, Justin gets hyped for the team. He's always been a great relay swimmer, and I think he feeds off that energy, and I think that's why he's doing so well in this environment.
Thank you.
Kelsi, same for you, especially coming off that Olympic year, like Justin said. I wasn't even thinking about that aspect of it.
I also had really no expectations going into the season. The first match, I remember thinking, I got to get a suit on. How's this going to go? Trying to fabricate some sort of adrenaline to get ready to go. And then I swam faster than I did all last season. And then I just got mad because I'm thinking I worked way too hard last year. I've been doing singles since June. I should have been doing this way long ago. And so I'm just really pleased. Every race I did was just more and more evidence that this training is working and this is what my body needs. And so I think another note just says, girls, we don't have too many girls that swim this long. And so just trying something new. We don't really have too many people to compare it to. So that's just been fun to mix it up and try new things and not, I think just most of all here, not putting too much energy into whether things go right or wrong, just having the goldfish mentality, keep it moving, keeping it professional. But I think our team did a really good job of giving everyone grace no matter where they came in. And we had room for that. And we kept it in perspective for the end of the season, knowing, okay, maybe someone has to sit out here or another match in Naples, but that is way more important now for the mental health, physical health, to prioritize that then, and so then they could be their best when it came to the final. And I'm so proud of this team. Every single person stepped up. It was such a team effort. So many close races that we got, and I think we were the best team this weekend.
Jason, I'll start this question with you. How did you prep your team heading into this final, again, knowing that you had the regular season, then you had some time off, and then you had the playoffs, which also turned into the final, piggybacking right off of it, kind of at a last minute. How did you prep your team for moving through that entire season?
Well, I think we were in a really good position to be able to focus on this event right here as our sole purpose. We have a lot of talent, we have a lot of depth, and we did not have to put our full energy mentally and physically into every single match to do well. And I think you saw there was a couple examples of teams might have peaked a little early, or they were fighting for their life. And one of the other matches was, desperation. They had to swim their best. Just it could have gone the other way. We got a relay that didn't get jackpotted. That was a 16-point swing for us. We got jackpots in the breaststroke for the men's side, and we were supposed to be on the opposite side of that. So, I mean, you look at all these things that went our way, and we were in a great fight, and could have won.
Yeah, and for Kelsi and Justin, again, just as athletes, how do you prep, knowing that you've got the regular season, you've got the playoffs, and then piggybacking right off of that is this final that you obviously want to be your best at?
Racing is training, and so that's kind of how I've been looking at it and just sharpening up. And this was definitely different because I haven't been doing doubles, and my training has looked different. So I was still just trusting in my coaches and in my preparation, and knowing that I had these adjustments that I could make. And so learning how to coach myself a little bit too.
Yeah. Definitely coaching myself is a huge thing too. I learned that the power of prioritizing mental health for me. Since Naples, I've set an alarm maybe 4 times in a month and a half. I haven't done morning practices. Really, all I've been doing is sharpening up for these races and understanding that if your mind is in the right space, you're going to swim fast no matter what your body's feeling. So I guess just learning how to race without as much training as I'm used to is kind of a huge deal for me. And just moving through the meets with confidence, knowing that I'm definitely healthy and in the best spot I've been in for swimming. I mean, this is the best swimming in my career. And I definitely couldn't do that without staying mentally healthy. So I'm excited about that.
I think something that needs to be said is a lot of these athletes are learning so much. And, when I swam late in my career, I only swam singles for a long time, but these guys are learning how to manage racing very often with balancing training, and the type of training they need to do is different if you're racing that often, right? And, people in Europe have been doing this for years. And I used to travel to Europe to compete all the time because they used to race all the time, and we didn't have that in the United States. So these guys are getting that opportunity. They're learning from it, and you can see they're learners because they're swimming amazing times and doing best times, American records, world records, you name it. And, we got people from all over the world setting records in their own country. So it's really, really neat to see. And I think it's going to change the way, hopefully, the coaches will see this and maybe make some changes to their normal training plans, even when they don't have, weekly competitions. And, you see, as Kelsi's an older swimmer, and, she can't do the same thing that a 19, 20-year-old can do, right? So she's got to make those adjustments. And, I think this is perfect for people like that to be able to learn how to do that.
Kelsi, you've got your fingers crossed. I've got my fingers crossed because this is what I, as a fan, want to see more of. Jason, I feel like when you were doing singles, everyone was kind of like, "What is this guy doing?" He obviously, you can't swim well like that, and then obviously you were wrecking it. And so that's a great point. I love that you brought that up. Hopefully,
learning how to train for your event, and everyone's going to be a little different, right? Like Haley Flickinger is not going to start doing singles, but she's doing different things, and she came here probably less prepared as far as training wise. I know she took a big break after Olympics, and she doesn't usually take breaks like that, and she's still doing amazing, right? So it's great to see so many people swimming so fast right now.
It really is. It's been such a treat just to get to see this third season of ISL. To wrap things up, you guys, as the Condors in season 1, you've been in this place before where you kind of had that tough loss. What's next for the Condors? How are you bouncing back from this?
Well, these guys are going to go home, and hopefully they get to see their families for the holidays, which will be kind of cool. We missed Thanksgiving over here, but we were with our other family here, the Condors. I think, next season is going to be a lot of fun. They're looking at the type of season they want to do, maybe something similar to this, but I think we're going to try to get it to more cities and, get to the U.S. hopefully, which is really important, I think, for the league to be able to get the fan base over there. We have a lot of fans, but they can't come watch us. And with COVID, hopefully they'll be able to come watch us if the timing's right. But, I think these guys have a lot of things on their plate, and ISL is one of them, but we want to make that the priority and eventually want to make it even a longer season. So we're still in the early stages. It's only year 3, and we're continuing to grow. I think these athletes really love what they're doing here, and you can see it, especially being a Condor. I don't know any other team that has as many smiles as these guys have, and they love each other. They do everything we do with each other. You can see that they want to do it for each other, which is different, I think, than some of the other teams.
Kelsi, Justin, any parting thoughts?
He knows a lot more about the future than we do.
Yeah, I don't know about the future for the Condors, but I know one of the silver linings of COVID for me was that month break of quarantine. I completely reset my head, and it's helped my swimming career so much. And I'll tell you right now, I need another one of those. So my next thing is a big break and decide what I want to do next. I have no plans, so I got to figure it out.
I'm pretty sure he's gonna be on the Condors next year. Just so
if I'm back, it'll be on the Condors.
He's not retiring yet. I'm not letting that happen. They wouldn't be sitting next to me if I didn't think they were coming back next year.
Well, Jason, Kelsi, Justin, thank you so much for your time. Congrats on a great season.